Every day, Thomas runs up and down his branch line with his two faithful coaches, Annie and Clarabelle. Before becoming Thomas's coaches, Annie and Clarabelle were part of the Express, but have since been replaced. They fancy their new life on the branch, but they do miss the glory days. One afternoon, Thomas was at the station waiting for Gordon with the Express. "I say," Thomas said, "I thought Gordon was the grandest engine on the railway." Just then, Gordon slugged in, very cross. "Is this hard work you speak of?" Thomas teased. "Oh, hush now, little Thomas," Gordon wheezed. "I was delayed by a faulty signal. I went as fast as I could make up time." "Sure," Thomas continued. "Doesn't help with the fact that you're pulling such heavy coaches. Now, with Annie and Clarabelle, you wouldn't have any trouble. Did you know that they were on the Express too?" Gordon scoffed. "They were. They aren't now. Those two wooden boxes on wheels are outdated and not fit for my standards. There's a reason newer, more spacious coaches like mine have been built. Their brakes would slip on. They'd be rattled to bits at my speed." Before Thomas could answer, the guard blew his whistle and he puffed away. Annie and Clarabelle felt most insulted. Thomas was cross the entire journey and still grunted as he turned around. By now, Annie and Clarabelle had rubbed off Gordon's words. "Not fit for use, my bunker," he groaned. As he shunted his coaches into the yard, he puffed away his shunts and trucks. Annie and Clarabelle sat in the yard. The two old coaches shut their eyes for slumber until they were ready to go out again. Gordon huffed in, very cross. No one was around to fetch his coaches, so he'd have to do it himself. "A fine engine like me should have to shunt his own coaches. The shame of it! Oh, the shame of it!" he groaned. Now, if Gordon had been busy grumbling, he would have known he backed down onto the wrong coaches. A few moments later, Thomas puffed into the yard. He was surprised to see Annie and Clarabelle were gone. Gordon shoved by with the Express. Two orange coaches were at the back of the train. To Thomas's horror, it was Annie and Clarabelle. "Annie? Clarabelle? Gordon, stop!" But Gordon couldn't hear Thomas and continued until he was out of sight. "Driver, we must go after him," Thomas insisted. His crew agreed, and with determination, Thomas charged forward down the main line after the Express. "Stop! Stop! There's been a mistake!" the Express coaches shouted, but no one seemed to notice. Further back, Thomas was huffing and puffing as fast as he could. The signalman at Knapford had given the news to the next signal box, allowing Thomas to sail through. "Hurry, hurry, hurry!" Gordon whistled, as he rushed through Henry's tunnel. Further behind was Thomas, using every puff to keep up with the Express. "I won't stop! I won't stop!" he puffed to himself. Just then, Thomas saw Gordon stopped at Edward's station. "Hooray! Hooray!" Thomas cheered. However, Gordon then started. "We can still reach him at the next station by the hill," the driver shouted. By now he was exhausted and wanted a rest. As he headed toward the next station, Gordon was at the platform. Determined, Thomas used what little puff he had left to blow his whistle. But it wasn't fast enough. Annie and Clarabelle were dragged away once more. Thomas veered into a siding and came to a stop. "Annie, Clarabelle," he gasped. Soon Thomas was filling up with water. Just then, Edward puffed in with some coaches. "Hello, Thomas," he smiled. "I do believe these fine deeds belong to you." Thomas was surprised. There behind Edward was Annie and Clarabelle. "I was coming back home from your train when I saw Gordon with your coaches. You all are far from your branch line, and after all you three have been through, I'd say a rest is earned." "Oh, thank you, Edward," Thomas smiled. The fat controller scolded Gordon, and for the next few weeks, the big engine had to fetch his own trains. And while Annie and Clarabelle didn't fancy their high-speed adventure, they were impressed with how fast and strong Gordon was. But that's a story for another day.